Hey guys, Todd here. Today we're going to install the Dominator Extreme DSS running boards from Go Rhino on this 2022 Toyota Tundra CrewMax. The tools we'll be using for this installation are a ratchet with a 12, 13, and 14 millimeter socket. Now make sure you're subscribed to our channel to stay up to date with our latest content. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, we're starting off underneath the truck. We're on the driver's side just behind the front tire. If you follow the rocker panel back, you're going to find a couple of bolts that are in the rocker panel. Now you might just have some threaded holes here, but if you've got the truck from the factory that's never had running boards, you're probably just gonna have a couple of bolts there. Now this is where our driver's side front bracket is going to line up and install. So it kind of makes a Y up at the top, and then it turns, and this portion of it faces towards the rear of the vehicle. That's the orientation. If this is facing toward the front of the vehicle, that's your passenger side front bracket. So in order to get this installed, the first thing we need to do is remove these two bolts. We're going to do that with a 12 millimeter. All right, next we're going to go ahead and install our bracket. We're going to use the provided hardware. So they give us a bolt with a taper at the top that's got an attached washer. We'll put those in both of those holes. We're just going to put that on finger tight for right now. We're going to tighten it down until we tighten down the brackets to the board. All right, now we're going to go ahead and come back along the rocker panel. We're going to reach our second bracket location. Here we're going to have two bolts kind of right on top of each other. Again, those are going to have to come out with a 12 millimeter. This is where our middle bracket is going to go. Now this is the orientation of that bracket. Again, the foot of the bracket that bends back needs face to the rear of the vehicle. If it faces the front, it's for the passenger side. So go ahead and pull these out with a 12 millimeter and then loosely put in the provided hardware for a bracket. All right, now as we move back along the rocker panel, we're going to skip these two bolts and come all the way back to our final two sets of bolts in the rocker panel. We're going to be taking these out with a 12 millimeter. This is where our final bracket is going to go. It's going to go the same orientation as the center bracket, and it's going to install the exact same way as the center bracket. It actually is the exact same bracket, so if it's facing the opposite direction, again, that is for the passenger side. Okay, here is your board. What you're going to notice is you got a large open channel on the back side of the board, and that is so that these welded nut plates can slide in there. Now this is your welded nut plate. You'll notice you've got kind of a shelf on top, and then you've got an opening with the nuts on the back that bolts to it. So this is going to slide in, go up against your brackets, and then mount to these nut plates. So what we're going to do is we're going to slide in two nut plates up to the front and one nut plate to the rear. It just slides in like so. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and take the board to the truck and line the nut plates up to the brackets. And it's really helpful at this point to have someone holding the board for you while you line everything up. All right, let's go ahead and raise it up to the brackets. Now we're going to slide our nut plates in place and line them up to the holes. What I've got here is a provided bolt, lock washer, and flat washer. I'm going to put them in there hand tight for right now. All right, now here we are at the rear bracket. All right, now that we've got this attached, we're going to adjust the board front to back. Once it's adjusted exactly where we want it, we can go ahead and lift up the board, tighten these brackets down to the board using a 14 millimeter. After all three brackets are tightened to the board, we're going to go up on top and tighten the brackets to the truck with a 13 millimeter. All right, repeat the same with all the rest of the brackets. We repeated the same process for the opposite side, and that concludes the installation. If you found this video helpful, make sure and give us a thumbs up. If you want to know more about the product, check the link in the description below. And as always, if you have any questions, call the experts or visit us online.